Hello everybody, how are we all today? Let me just check the mics. There we go.
Hello.
There we are. Hang on.
We're good.
Just on the bottom here. Hello. Magic.
Hello.
There we go. Everyone hear us okay? Awesome, awesome. So how are you guys doing today?
Good, thank you. Yes.
Very well, thank you.
Brilliant. So I've got a few questions for you today, and then I'm going to open it out to the audience.
Lovely.
So I'll start off with, how did you both get into acting, and how did acting lead you to the role in Doctor Who?
How did I get into acting? My mother and I used to like going to the theatre. My father and my brother weren't so keen. So whenever we had a chance, my mother and I would go and see things. And I went when I was 18. I'll go back earlier, first of all. At my school, an all-boys school in Manchester, we used to do a Gilbert and Sullivan opera every year. And I found myself at the age of 12 playing Phyllis in Iolanthe, which is the main soprano lead. I had a review in my school magazine that said Colin Baker threw himself with great verve into the part of Phyllis and rarely strayed more than half an octave from the note. At the time, I thought that was a good review. Later on, I realized there was an implied criticism of my musicality. Anyway, for the first time at school, I felt able to be someone else, and I enjoyed doing it. I was a quiet, bespectacled, studious boy, bit of a swot, but pretending to be this girl singing songs, I loved it. So that gave me the bug, but I forgot about it. And then when I was 18, I went with my mother to see a production of The King and I at the Palace Theatre in Manchester, an amateur production. And at the end of it, I loved it. And I said to my mum, I wish I could do something like that. And the man sitting in front of me turned round and said, well, young man, I happen to be the president of this society. Why don't you come along next Friday night to the Simpson Memorial Hall in Muston, in Manchester, where we're starting to rehearse our next one. We're doing South Pacific, and we're looking for young males. So I came along. Not only did I came along with my best friend, who was a policeman in Manchester, who was also 18, and we discovered not only was it fun to do, but there were lots of girls there too. And we got to talk to them, be with girls doing the same thing. So it seemed like a good idea. So I joined the North Manchester Amateur Operatic and Dramatic. We did South Pacific. They also did plays. I started doing plays. And then I joined every amateur drama group within a million miles of Manchester. So I'd be rehearsing one with one on Monday, another one on Tuesday. You're doing the same, aren't you?
Yes, I am, yes.
I heard a story, yes. And that's how it started. But even then, it never occurred to me that I might do it professionally until my father, at the age of 49, had a heart attack and a stroke. And he lived a few more years, but it wiped him out, basically. And I thought, serious moment, is that what it's all about? Because I was studying law at the time. I thought, you only get one crack at this thing called life, so you might as well do something or have a go at doing something you like. So I decided to audition for drama school, and that's how it started.
Amazing, thank you.
What about you, Nicola?
Well, I wanted, apart from wanting to be a fairy and various things like that,
I didn't.
I wanted to be a ballerina, which to me is acting without words. You learn the dance, but there's always an emotional portrayal as well. And I got accepted into all the ballet schools, but I wasn't allowed to go, which was a very traumatic experience, to be quite honest. And so my parents tried to get me interested, well, my mother did, in doing some amateur dramatics. And I was like, well, it's not ballet, you know. But my mum said, do you think you can act? And I said, well, yes. And she said, well, you're going to have to act 18 because you're not old enough to join any of these. And I was like, I was like 13, I think, at the time. So I went for an audition at the local amateur dramatic society that had the best reviews and the best reputation, which was the Gilbury Players. And so I auditioned because they needed, obviously, children for Fiddler on the Roof. And at 13, they were asking me what O-levels I'd done, GCSEs, and I was thinking, oh, I have no idea what I'm going to do. But I was doing that thing, which in the end is how I got Doctor Who. Not telling them my actual true situation during the audition, not saying I'm 13 and I shouldn't be here at all. So I made up my GCSEs and all this stuff. And I got a role in Fiddler on the Roof, but it wasn't the youngest daughter, which would have made sense, since I was only 13. I played the second youngest daughter, and a 21-year-old was playing the youngest daughter. And I loved it. I think I only had 5 lines, spritzer. And the first one, my first line was something about, I finished the potatoes, Mama. So remember that? I know. And the potatoes be quite different every day. And then I had the very important line, the girl who runs in and says, the Russians are coming. Very important line. And I brought with me the whole history of the village as I entered with that line. And although I didn't have many lines, I just loved the fact that you carried the story with you for the whole thing. I loved that. I felt I was in this huge, long story. I didn't think I've only got 5 lines because I was on stage for a great deal of the production as this little kid. And I got the bug then completely. But like you, I went to see a show and I saw Derek Jacobi playing Hamlet. And my school took me to see it, and I asked my dad if we could go again. So we got tickets to go and see Hamlet the week before I was going to go with my school. And, come on, the name's going to come. Oh, dear. The actress playing Gertrude. Come on, it's gone. I hate it. I hate this. It happens all the time. No. It'll come. Anyway, so the actress playing Gertrude, you know, this is the moment at the end where she's got the cup of poison. It's been handed to her. Her son, Hamlet, has handed it to her, and she's going to drink it. So there she was, drinking the poison. She had no idea it was poison. She dies. This is what I saw with my father. Then we came to see a matinee with the school, and she took the glass, she looked Hamlet straight in the eye, and she knew exactly that she was drinking the poison. And I went, ah! And my teacher was like, quiet. And I was like, but. And I was like, you don't understand. Last week, she played that completely differently. And that made me so excited because there'd been no change in dialogue, no change in the play. And I was thinking, oh, the actors, they've got so much power to change this, to give the audience a different, and obviously she was just doing it for her own satisfaction. Having done long runs in shows, I know that's what you do. You just think, well, today I'm going to drink it like this. I know you're poisoning me. Goodbye, son. You know. But that just got me. That was it. I was smitten when I saw that. Barbara Jefford.
Yeah, very good.
Barbara Jefford was playing it.
Barbara Jeffrey is very good.
Barbara Jefford.
Yeah.
That was Barbara.
So I've got one for you, just for you, Nicola. So, if I can get it up. How did you prepare for the American accent you used for Perry, and how challenging was it to maintain throughout filming?
I didn't really prepare at all because I did American accents for all my auditions for drama school. I was playing an American in a production when I got spotted to get the audition. I was married to an American. My best friend was American. So I was pretty used to the sound. And keeping it up during the show was fine. What was exhausting, as you probably know, was pretending to be it 24/7. So having to go to conventions with an American accent and having to do interviews like this, I'd be sitting at an interview and going, "Hi, well, it's really great to be playing this part, and I'm so thrilled to be here in England, and I love working with Colin, and and it was just all the time." So that was stressful, slightly stressful, because I kept waiting for someone to be an old school friend or an aunt or something who'd stand up and go, "That's not her real voice." I just kept thinking that was going to happen.
And one for you, Colin, to even it out a bit. If you could be in play the Doctor in a modern episode of the stories, so that could be fight a certain monster or go to a certain timeline, what would you do and why?
Oh my goodness, well, I wouldn't want to do one that had already been done. So I'd like to do one a bit like the one I did on Big Finish Audio, where I meet several other versions of myself. There were, I think, 5 or 6 of me in the last one I did. I think that might be quite fun. But it would have to be a nice new script.
I will ask one for both of you now, and then I will pass it out to the audience.
You ready?
What did you enjoy most about the dynamic between the Sixth Doctor and Perry?
The fact that we were there for each other.
Yes.
Very quickly, we became a double act, I think. You were so relieved that Peter had gone. And you were so pleased to see me because I was kind and gentle to you. No, we got on very well very quickly, and we also very quickly realized that there was an element of laziness in the writing for our characters, because when a new writer was given us a script to do, they'd have a look at our relationship at the first episode where we bickered. Oh right, they bicker. They then get on writing all their lovely new characters, which they are inventing. And all the scenes between us had us bickering and sniping, and so we found a way of playing against those lines and forced the writers to adjust their understanding of our characters. And I enjoyed that process.
I think we had a similar working ethic process too. So as actors, we understood what we were both doing. There wasn't something, we didn't find each other's, because actors can work very differently. Yeah. We got on well when we were working. We had a good laugh, but we were always there to be 100% professional and get the job done, because time was always short. So I think it was mutual joy and mutual respect, really.
Yeah.
That's absolutely amazing. So I will open it out to the audience. Does anybody have any questions they'd like to ask? Please don't be shy.
Hello.
Hello.
What's your favourite episode out of Doctor Who?
Ever. My favourite episodes are The Empty Child and The Doctor Dances, which are episodes of Christopher Eccleston. And right at the end of that episode he says, and the best thing of all is, everybody lives. And for me, that one sentence captured what Doctor Who should be about. And the following week, I was a school governor, and I went into the school I was a governor of, and all the kids in the playground were going, "Are you my mummy?" And I knew Doctor Who was back again, and that gave me a huge lift. So they would be my favourite episodes.
Yeah, the same thing with that same line. that absolutely, I was like, that sums up Doctor Who in one line. So that was definitely one of my favorites. And then I don't like to pick favorites of my own, but early on, Caves of Androzani was an exceptional script. So, and it ended in the best possible way. With
All
you.
right. I know. I know. I do know.
Do we have any more questions? I will.
Hey. I have a question for each of you, if that's okay. So for Colin, if you could have any other companion, who would you pick? We all love Perry. But if you could pick another companion.
If I could have any
who would
other
you have?
companion, who would I pick? Oh, there's so many of them. But I'll go for Leela, because Louise Jameson is a particularly good friend of mine. We play Wordle every day, if you're interested. And so does Wendy Padbury. We all play. There's a group of us do Wordle every day. And I've known Lou for a long while. We've done several theatre plays together. So on a personal level, but also I think it would be a very interesting dynamic between Leela and the Sixth Doctor.
Yes.
It would be a challenge for the writers, I think, and probably for me. If you could work with any Doctor other than me and Peter, who you have already worked with, who would you choose?
I think I always love what's happening now. So I'd want to be involved in the now. So I think I'd love to be with Shooty. Yeah.
Good old Shooty.
Yeah, and my question for Nicola was, because Perry's exit was infamously kind of conflicted, like.
I'm sorry, I'm not here. Can you speak a little louder into the thing for me? Thank you.
Sorry, I've got a quiet
That's right.
voice.
No, it's me. So I'm very deaf.
So Perry's exit was quite kind of divisive.
Yes.
If you could have written her exit, what do you think you would have written it as?
I quite liked what I would call the original exit of Perry. I thought it was incredibly dramatic. I love the whole, mind transplant. I thought it was dramatic and wonderful, and I didn't think anything about the poor fans who were going to be very upset about it. I enjoyed that. I did not quite agree with the whole being married off to Yukanos thing. Child bride stuff, I think, was a little bit frightening, and I think the Doctor would have come to rescue her very quickly to make sure she was okay. So I'm glad we had the widow's assassin, which, thanks to Big Vinish, we've answered that weird question as to why on earth he didn't. But I think I did like what happened. I did think that was really interesting, the way I said I wanted a dramatic ending and I got one. So yeah, I quite liked that. If not that, it would have been, the old diving in front of a laser beam or a monster or a bullet or something to rescue the Doctor.
And I love Perry in Trials of a Time Lord. Feisty, battle-scarred, butch Perry. I love it. It's brilliant. And it's partly my fault that you got King Orkanos, because when we were filming the last scenes of Trial, I said, hang on, what is the truth? Is she dead? Or what's happened? And it was a kind of quick rewrite on the spot by Eric Saywood that said you'd gone off with King Orkanos. That wasn't in the original script.
No, it wasn't there at all.
It was because there was a floating question.
Yeah.
Was the Matrix lying? And for some reason, that's what they decided.
And John told me, which the interesting thing is we both have different stories as well, because John said to me they had so many complaints about it. I think John was thinking about, do we put that in or don't we put that in? Because I think he was thinking they could get away with it. But he said they had so
But
many
you wouldn't have had those complaints by the time we were filming.
No, I know, that's what I'm
Trial.
saying. But they didn't, as far as I know, and this is what he said to me, they didn't put it in to the filming until after they'd seen the thing, which
Not
doesn't
true.
make any sense.
I think he
No.
misremembered.
Yeah, probably.
He was trying to post-justify.
Yes, probably.
Yeah.
But there we go.
We'll have this,
That's our chat.
We'll have this conversation later.
Thank you. Do we have any more? I am going to pick. I'm going to go that way and then that way. There we go.
Is it cool to have action figures of yourselves?
Is it cool to have action figures of ourselves? Very, very cool.
Is it good?
Yeah, is it cool?
Very cool, yes.
Yes.
Of course it is. Yeah.
Yes, even
Yeah.
though sometimes I think I look extremely weird.
Although we haven't got Funko Pops yet. Have we?
What?
Funko Pops.
No,
Do you know what they are?
no.
There's about 20,000 of them out there at the moment.
Okay,
They are the little things in boxes,
yes,
which are strangely contorted visions
Yes.
of famous sci-fi characters.
Ah,
But they don't do much Doctor Who, do they? Do they do any? Don't think they do. Oh, what's that one? Deadpool. That is a non-Doctor Who Funko Pop.
right, yes, I've seen loads of those little things.
But there's no Doctor Who ones.
There's no doubt. So we've yet to look like that.
We have our next question here.
Yeah. Don't know why.
Yeah, but it's very
But
cool.
yeah, it's
Thank
cool.
you.
And even cooler is having a stamp of yourself.
Yes.
About 5 years ago, they brought out some Doctor Who stamps, and I was able to send letters to people with my picture on the stamp on the envelope. You would not be surprised to learn I bought a lot of them, so I still have lots.
Perfect.
So, out of all of the creatures, who is your favourite, or which one would you like to face again if you redid any of the episodes?
I think from Perry's perspective, in terms of her adventures, definitely she has one nemesis, which is Syl. You know, Syl has not liked her and wanted to do harm, so I think that is her least favourite creature that she would ever want to meet. So I kind of like their meetings. I'd like to see her slightly get the better of him next time.
Slitheen, they fart. I like the Slitheen. A farty monster is one worth meeting.
Do we have any more questions? Oh, going straight over here.
Would you like a cameo in the modern series as a different character?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Full prosthetics, whatever they like.
I'd like to come in as a villain.
Me, absolutely. Totally want to be a villain. Yeah. Being the villain is much more fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're always the fun roles. So, yeah, completely.
Do we have any more questions? I don't think we have any more.
Well, thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you guys. It's
Nice
been
to talk to
such a
you.
pleasure.
And
Can I
thank you.
have, thank you. Can I have a massive round of applause for Nicola Bryant and Colin Baker?
Thank you.
Thank you.